Good morning, everyone. I'm back with Michelle. And she's a TI, and I'm going to put her first interview like I do anybody with a follow-up. I put their first interview in the comments. For some reason, they want to give me a strike when I put a link into the description. Ever since I got demonetized, they do that. I don't understand why, so I'll pin it in the comments. Um, she deals with horrible V2k and other kind of targeting, and has a lot on her plate. But she's a warrior. She helps other TIs and talks to them and comforts them, and other ways too. So we appreciate your bravery, Michelle, and we
I appreciate
appreciate.
yours and Holly's very much. Your
And I
blessing.
guess we'll. Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the TI's mothers. I hope you read that post I posted. I know y'all are warriors to keep on and fight through this and manage to take care of y'all's kids. And I know your kids is going to appreciate that one day. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle and let her tell what's been happening since the last time we spoke, or anything she feels like she needs to bring up, and I'll ask her questions as we go.
Oh gosh, no, I'm not sure where to start. From the beginning, my V2k started in 2018. Neighbors that moved down below me, and I didn't know anything about gang stalking then. And I mean, they would come up and flash their guns. They said they were Crip gang related, and but they sent four black young men with red on, flashing 9 millimeters when I was sitting upstairs at my apartment on the porch. And they made everybody leave from the apartment for that, like something bad was going to go down. I'm not one to be intimidated. I've been through some things in life, and I'm just sitting there, and they're just eyeballing me in this death stare, flashing their 9 millimeters, and I did not move. And they finally kept saying, "What's she doing up there?" And I finally said, "I'm sitting on my front porch that I pay my rent, and I'm not moving." And they finally left, though. They didn't do anything. And
Now, was
so,
V2K telling you they were going to do something, or were they
no,
telling you?
they were. I didn't know anything about how the V2K was happening. I kept thinking they had devices in my apartment, but I couldn't find anything. And then I thought, well, the floors between the neighbors downstairs and I'm maybe I don't know how they were doing it, but then when I started seeing things on on Facebook and online, I kept ignoring that for a while because I thought that's too crazy. That is too crazy. Well, then I started researching it, and I've learned so much more than I ever thought. And every day I keep learning more. And then I figured out how they're doing it with the different devices. Now, my the former neighbors, and I'm from Oklahoma, born in 1959. I went to Missouri in late 2020 for 8 months. They followed me there and right back, and I came back and still kept hearing the V2K, and I still do all kinds of threats. They're gonna, put me in a trunk in a barrel, and that hasn't happened. But I know self defense, but I have had three different times where okay, when I lived at the apartments that they lived down below me, I was walking to the Walmart next door, and there, two black dudes came out of there. They were like I said, thought Crip gang related because that's what they were saying at the time. They grabbed me and they busted my front teeth out. And these two other people walked from the Walmart with groceries, and so these guys took off. They had a dirty old white van, and they were going to throw me in. And this is, happened three times. One time I ran out in the middle of traffic to get away from it. Um, so they really do have aims to do that. Some TIs will say, "Oh, they can't hurt you. That's not going to happen." I have lost fellow TIs. I've lost them, and they do things. They do things to people.
Yes. There's many
And
different
so
aspects and levels of
I
targeting. You
have
are
a
correct.
couple. I have a couple fellow TIs missing right now. Wonderful young men.
Yeah,
And
and if you go, Lynette got murdered. She was posting
I
her
know.
stalker online, and she if you can look up Lynette Castle, LA Times, and it'll tell you all you want to know. So you're definitely right about that. What I was going to ask you, can you kind of just this is if you feel comfortable, like kind of tell them why you were targeted in the beginning, and just so they'll get an idea to set kind of
Why
the
I was?
stage.
Why I was?
Yeah,
Um,
how it started, just a brief overview. I know you covered it in
okay,
the first one.
sure. Well, okay, like I said, I didn't know anything about gang stalking when it started, but when I started researching it, finally looking at the information, I thought, oh, this is really happening. And then I found out about, the voice to skull and how they're doing it. And there are various ways they can do that. I found out also. Mine wear EEG headsets that lock onto your brain waves and connected to the satellite. So it doesn't matter if I went off the grid with no electronics or electricity. They can still see me, everything I do in the shower and on the toilet, everything. And, they say they don't want to watch me. I'm almost 67 years old, but they haven't missed it in over 8 years. I
Yeah,
mean,
they make gay comments to me in the
oh,
bathroom and try to
it's
make.
horrible. You
Yeah,
know,
if you're not strong-minded, they will
I
get to
am.
you in the bathroom. They used to get to
Oh,
Holly too.
I take a shower in the dark, but they let me know they can see me with the infrared. And yeah. Uh, and there are places online where people can buy devices, directed energy weapons, handheld ones, and yeah, it's crazy. But
Right.
um, yeah, it went on when I moved, and they follow everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, they follow, you know.
So you think you are, but why were you targeted? Do you think?
I don't know really. I mean, I really don't know. Um, I did some things back in the 80s. Um, I don't know, should I name the agency or no? Okay.
Well, you can if you want.
Well, I helped. There were things being done to children,
Okay.
horrible things. And there were a couple judges, and I was asked to help with that. And it may have been because of that, because I'm going to save children the best I can.
Right.
That's just so, but other things too. I was married to the mob and didn't know it, and won court cases and took his rights away. I was not going to raise my baby amongst that. So
Right.
maybe that I don't really know. I mean,
Right.
when it started, I didn't know anything about gang stalking, and then when I figured it out, I'm like, oh, it's crazy, all right, it's
Right.
crazy, and it breaks my heart for other TIs. Just how many we have, I don't know. Everybody's monitored in the world nowadays. Everyone. People
Yep.
don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. We found that out, right?
There's no privacy no more.
No, there's not. You know. Um. Oh gosh.
Now, don't they
So,
say they're going to hurt your cats and all that all the
oh,
time?
that's been the main thing with me. I've had Rocky and Gizmo since they were 2 weeks old, little tuxedo kitties, and they're over 12 years old now. And that's the main thing they use. That they keep saying that they got custody of them through their judge, and they meet with this judge all hours of the night talking in the V2k, and he tells them that they can come into my house and take the kitties, arrest me, do a search warrant, and arrest me. They're constantly going to do a search warrant. They were going to do one last night again. I don't do anything illegal. Neither does my brother, and everyone knows this. The police know this. I've filed numerous police reports just for documentation. You know, and they all act like they don't know about it. And I've had some police officers ask me, "Do you hear voice? Do you hear voices?" And I will hesitate, and I said, "Yes, I hear yours." Hint me like that. I tell other TIs, do not mention the V2k, even though there's plenty of valid information. But they have down with the fusion centers and all that. You know, put them in a crazy bin. And that's what they'll do.
Yes.
So
And I
yeah,
want to play this real quick because I'm going to start playing this for most people who are going through weapons and this stuff. This is a
uh,
U.S. National Security
uh,
thing, the Homeland Security Committee meeting. Listen,
Your assessments here are correct. These are very covert weapons, aren't they? That's correct. There's no entry or exit wound. How they're designed is to make the target feel like they're crazy, like they're imagining things. And you guys also said that these attacks are happening right here in this city. Is that correct? I mean, there have been some that have gone
public with respect to Washington, D.C.
I think it was Mr. Grozov said you spoke to a Russian agent who said that they believe that Americans are using these same.
And so there you go. That's a Homeland Security meeting for anybody doubting what she's saying. Talking about these
Right.
weapons are designed to make you go crazy, not leave no entry exit wound, just plausible deniability. And they want you to cry out for help and go,
Mhm.
let's freak out. And then boom, they got you right where they want you.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't mention the B2K. Do not
Now, do
do
you
it.
get any stalking, blacklisting,
Uh,
harassment any
got
other way?
a lot of smear campaigns. When I lived in the apartment when this started, and later I found out when I found out about what gang stalking was about, I realized it was no accident that my former neighbors moved down below me. They were put down below me to do this. Uh, yeah, oh, they were because they followed me to Missouri when I was there 8 months and right back on the bus, and I was at a layover at the bus coming back overnight with my kitties Rocky and Gizmo on the pet carrier, and even in the bathroom when I went there at the bus station, and they made comments even about what I was doing on the toilet and stuff, and how I was
Oh,
like,
they got on the bus and followed you?
yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when I got on the bus, and I'm a friendly person, and nod, hi, how are you doing? And there was a couple of them that just stared at me like a death stare, like, wow, I didn't used to get that kind of reaction from people. Most people are friendly with me, but these were, I was like, gee, he looks like he wants to kill me. It was like that. And so I heard the B2K all the way. I know they had people on the bus there also all the way back and grab her kitties. That's the main thing they want to do. And that they're judged, that they meet with all hours of the night. I hear them in the BGK tells them they can come into my house and take the kitties. I'm like, I'm not playing when it comes to my babies. And
So
because
what do you do to help with that?
with the BGK, I will put music on. Now, I have some Bluetooth earbuds, and I that's the only time I can't hear them when I pump my music up. Now, I've had people tell me not to use those because they can hook you to the supercomputer with that. But now, my roommate, um, I've known him 63 years, so we tell everybody we're brother and sister. Our moms were best friends. And his twins in from Houston right now, spending the weekend because my brother's got cancer, colorectal cancer. And I'm his caretaker. I have medical experience. Anyway, um, he had some other um, bone conduction earbuds. They're not earbuds. It's where you put it around your neck and I like my Bluetooth earbuds because that's the only time I can't hear them. Even though they try to get through it and they haven't been able to. But these bone conduction ones have a totally different sound. It just it's hard to explain, but it goes right through your head. It's a very surreal sound. I need to get me some of those. He said
Right.
he paid $200 for his, but somebody else he knows got some for $13. I need
Wow.
to get some, but that's the
Now,
only
are they
time.
wired? Do they plug in?
No, they do not.
Oh,
They're not wired. But okay, so um, that's the only time I can't hear the B2K when I pump my music up with earbuds in. So, what is your opinion on that? Can they hook us to the supercomputer with the Bluetooth?
they can, but I don't. I
But
hate
it's a
giving
nice
advice
break.
because for everybody, everybody's a different case, you know. So I really don't like giving. Personally, I use wired headphones, but
Okay.
I think that the Bluetooth headphones, there is a lot of stuff they can do with them. You
Yeah.
know, uh, but I think that target individuals
Music
are
though.
well, like you must already be hooked to the supercomputer.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give advice because, nobody, all we have is speculation in this community,
Right.
and information, but there's 9,305 patents that haven't even been released because of national security. So we don't
Wow.
really know what they got going on. But I
That's
have
true.
heard that the Bluetooth can just read what they're doing is they're getting your unique neural signature, which
Hmm.
anybody who had an Obama phone and stuff, they've got your neural signature. They've got
Yeah.
everybody's neural signature, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I believe that.
I personally use the wired headphones.
Okay.
uh, the cheap wire earbuds,
Mm-hmm.
that you can have. You can still use a speaker with them and talk and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
I know that Bluetooth enables your phone to be hacked a lot easier. It causes a lot of interference on your phone too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I try not to give nobody uh, advice in that area because every person's different, and I really don't
Yeah.
know. But I do know it can make it more difficult on you with Bluetooth speakers. Like Holly had some Bluetooth headphones. We got her because on the way on her way home from work,
Mm-hmm.
she would talk to me instead of, it's illegal to be looking at your phone and stuff. So when she was
Right.
talking to me, uh, they would start playing porn through the headphones,
Oh my God.
making her think I was watching it. So we threw them.
Oh,
They were nice headphones too. We threw them away.
it's their
You know.
divide and conquer game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
It
will,
is.
and especially if you're V2K and you're not and you're not strong, they'll put ideas in your head about other people,
Yeah.
and
They,
they'll push you away from the real people trying to help you. And then this program will make you think, well, anybody who's got somebody on their side is a fake TI because it don't work like that. That's not
that,
true. There's glitches
yeah.
all in this program. Nothing's perfect.
That's what's happened to me. I mean, I have a lot of TIs that I speak to, and some of them suicidal, and I beg and plead for them not to do that, that they're better than those people that don't deserve to breathe the air on this earth. Doing that, what they're doing to people is horrible, and it breaks my heart, even though I'm going through it. They threaten the most horrible, evil things. And in my opinion, they don't deserve to be living on this earth. You
No, they
know,
don't.
devil's advocates. It says that in the gang stalking manual.
Right.
And
And the psychological operations and the behavior
oh,
modification is built to make you think everything's a setup. You might as well stay alone. And I'm not saying don't stay alone, don't be vigilant, but good things can happen. But, if you're already living in defeat, like, well, I'm done. Nothing's ever going my way. I just might as well just sit here and pass the day and
right,
not try to connect with people, not try to take
right.
chances. You have to take chances on getting burnt, on getting done
Yeah.
wrong if you're going to find anybody real. That's just a
Can
sad
I?
consequence of our
It is.
reality.
Yeah. Can I mention my group on here?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a group called Targeted Individual Support Group for informational purposes and for fellow TIs that need someone to talk to. There are a lot of TIs that have no one to talk to, and they say it brings tears to their eyes. But I even put my phone number out there, and some people say don't do it. The perps have all the information anyway. They see everything. And I talk to a lot of TIs all over the world, and sometimes it gets quiet, and then all of a sudden there'll be several at once. And I think it's due to the program that they slam people harder. I get threatened, I better shut my group down and shut up and don't speak the truth. It's too late for that. And you don't win a battle unless you stand up and fight. And
Right.
I want to, I want to do what I can for as many people, but it's God doing that through me,
Right.
you know. I mean, it just
Yeah. Yeah. We're
target
working on a.
individual support group, and I can do that on Messenger or video messenger, which I do video calls with quite a few people. Um, and also my phone number if somebody feels more comfortable that way. Can I put that on here? Or should
Uh,
I? It's in my group though.
I mean, you can if you want.
It's in my group. Also
Okay.
about my group though, I had a couple admin assistants and they're missing. They just disappeared. David Edwards, and he did a documentary on this, and he disappeared after that. He was on his motorcycle, and he said they kept trying to run him off the San Francisco Bridge. Wonderful young man in California. And Joshua Hayes has written 3 books, and he just disappeared all of a sudden, you know, around the holidays, right after the holidays. I don't know what happened to him, but I know this happens. I've lost quite a few fellow TIs. You know, they initially said my perpetrators, former neighbors, followed me from Oklahoma to Missouri 8 months and followed me right back. It doesn't matter where you move. They wear the EEG headsets that lock onto my brain waves, and they can see every single thing I do. They have me on a big screen, I found out. because when they lived down below me and I knew nothing about gang stalking, I came downstairs from my apartment and they'd opened their door and I saw me on a big screen. I was like, I thought they had cameras in my apartment, and until I found out about the technology later. So they have me on a big screen to see every detail about me, no matter where I'm at. In the shower, on the toilet. They say they don't want to watch my old bleep. I'm almost 67, but they've not missed it in over 8 years. They'll have a crowd of them in there, their
Right.
goons, making comments, and then they're constantly saying they're gonna do a search warrant, arrest me, which I don't do anything illegal, and take my kitties Rocky and Gizmo I've had since they were 2 weeks old, and they're 12 now. I'm not playing when it comes to my children. I'm literally not intimidated. My German mama instilled that in me. She was born and raised in Kassel, West Germany, and during the Korean War, and that's how she met my daddy. That was in the Air Force. But she met Hitler when she was a young teen, and I don't know. Some people ask um, when my targeting started. The V2k started in March 2018. Um, whether it started before that, I don't know, because there are a lot of incidences that it may or may not be because of certain things that I've done. Um, you know, I'm supposed to shut my group down and stop speaking out, or else, well, if they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me anyway. And I want to save as many people as I can. And it's not me saving them, it's God through me, I believe. He gives me the strength to do so. Um, but
Right.
I'd like to, I really could use another admin because my other two disappeared because I have a
Right.
lot
And
that
I
wasn't
just looked.
spent.
The last time I talked to David Edwards, I was asking him, "Are you okay?
Oh,
Are you okay?" I heard from
yeah.
July 17th of last year.
Yeah, mine in August, and we were
Right.
on a video
I
chat.
know they were messing with him and
Oh,
really got
oh
him
wow.
scared of Facebook. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of group out there on Facebook that are just collecting data.
yeah,
So a lot of people's been scared away from Facebook.
I
Uh,
know.
Now
But
on
that
the
wasn't
number
like
thing,
him. That was,
no, I don't want some crazy person on YouTube because we got, I know you say perps no anyway, but there's other
no,
people that are not perps that are just crazy predators. So I'll leave that
that's
up
true.
to you.
That's true.
And I
That's
ran
true.
across them in 2018 because I've even got a video I did in 2018 where I left my number,
Yeah,
and I was getting all kinds of crazy stuff happen after I left my number,
yeah,
and then they went back in there like 2 weeks later, and you can hear I still got the video. It's from 2018, but I found it.
yeah,
And when I'm
yeah.
telling my number, they went back in and somehow a video that was already posted and cut off the last two digits where nobody could hear
Oh
it.
wow,
So
wow.
I mean, I'll leave that up to you, but that was my reason.
Okay. Well, anybody can contact me on Facebook Messenger and my group,
And
Target Individual Support Group.
yeah,
So, and it's up to them whether they want to. Some people don't want to get on video on Messenger chat, but I do have quite a few that we get on there video chat. And but
that's the
the
best way to
ones
see if you're really talking to somebody.
exactly, that's what I think. And I do have some solid TIs that just don't want to get on there, but we talk on Messenger and they check in on me every day. I got some Happy Mother's Day things too. And Happy Mother's Day to all the fellow TI ladies out there. I know they like to divide families. They like to isolate us all. And that just breaks my heart. That's so evil what they're doing to people. I'm going through it too. And I get the directed energy weapons. The other night I was laying in bed and my perpetrators were talking to somebody about a directed energy weapon, a long range acoustic directed energy weapon. First they said they're going to put a bullet in my head, but they meant directed energy weapon. And we're going to aim it at her head and destroy her brain cells and all this. That's what they said the other night. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Now,
I have a big knot on my face. It hurts. It's real deep. And I know that's from the weapons. Yeah.
now, do you do anything else to cope besides the headphones?
Well, music. I keep my radio on by my bedside 24/7. I mean, it doesn't block the B2K, with that, but it helps. And I do some meditation though. Um, there were different methods that people were telling me that didn't work, and all of a sudden one day I just closed my eyes and just you have to work hard at it and just tune in on good things you want to, and you can have music on or off, whichever works for you. You have to find your own method for it, is what I found. And
Yes.
it doesn't block everything out, but it helps. You have to have a diversion. Go outside in nature. I'm living on 5 acres now. It's my targeting started in an apartment. Apartment's the worst thing to do. A couple years ago, I was going to get in an apartment and everything was new in it, sparkling, and I was excited. And there were some fellow TIs that said, "Don't do it, don't do it." And I was going to anyway because I'm not intimidated by anything. But literally, I surprise myself sometimes. But um, I called the apartment manager the day before that I was supposed to pick up my keys, and I said I needed to put a chain or lock on the inside just when I was there, and he said, "No, you can't do that. Maintenance needs to come in whenever they want." And I said, "Not whenever they want. They better knock first." But I didn't do it, so I'm living out with my brother's on 5 acres again this last year, and they stole the posted keep out signs shortly after I got back here. But he put them back up. I said, "That doesn't permit you to come on the property." They're always talking in the V2k, but go out in nature. I'm lucky enough I have 5 acres and trees, and I go out there because it is worse inside the house with all the
Oh yeah.
electronics. It beams through my head, and I'll still hear it out there, but it's different. It's less stressful. Yeah, even you go outside as much as you can.
Stand barefooted.
Yeah, grounding.
Hug a
Gra-
tree. And
Grounding. That definitely is a huge thing. A
hugging a
lot more than,
tree.
yeah, it is. Talk to animals. You know,
Yep.
I talk to some people think it's crazy, but I'll talk to animals, and there's some people say, "Oh, they don't understand." They do understand. My kitties do, and I'll talk to the birds and different things out there.
Yeah.
Rescued a baby squirrel a while back, but yeah,
Cats love when humans talk to them.
they do.
That's
They understand everything. They
yep.
communicate. Animal alchemy too. But that's the worst thing, and I will never let them get a hold of my babies. I'm not even playing. That's horrible. Their judge keeps telling my perpetrators they can come in my house. I tell him, "You better come with them then, because you don't have a right to tell anybody they can come into my house and get the kitties, rescue them so they're safe." No, they're very safe with me. I will never let them get a hold of them. And my main perpetrator, uh, former neighbor, meets with the backroom deal judge all hours of the night. And
In
he
your
is so
V2K, right?
yeah, she has dropped his name. Um, but I'm going to go to the courthouse and find out if it's really that one. I
Oh,
don't
so
know.
there is a judge name. The ones they're talking about, there is a judge named that, right?
Yes, there is.
Yep.
And I will go up there because I have done court cases. I'm not a lawyer. I turned down a grant to go to law school because I will not do the backroom deals and sell people's lives down the river. But I want to find out if that's really him, because I will go in there very professionally, and I just need to know. I don't know. I probably won't be allowed to take a body cam in there, but I will record it. I'm allowed
But
to do
what
that.
but what V2K will do is that judge may not even know nothing about that going on, and they might
I
think,
know. Well, I'll be very careful about how I word things. I will ask him if he knows my former neighbors. Just ask him if he knows these people, and start from there. What do you think?
uh, I'll just be very nice and just say
Oh,
because you
I'll
get
be very
that's
nice.
kind of because he I wouldn't say that my V2K or I'm hearing.
No, no, never
Oh,
mention
you're
that
just
it's
gonna
BTK.
act like, hey, do you know these people?
Yes, yes, Your
Mm.
Honor. I have a very important matter. I really need to know. There are some people that claim they are meeting with you to do something, um, and I'm concerned about it for my safety and yours. What do you think?
And I don't want to give it. They might turn it around on you and
They
put.
might.
So that's one of them
Uh,
things I don't want to give advice on
I'll,
because I don't.
I will have a witness with me.
Yeah, I would take somebody with me
Oh, I will.
because he's going to be like, well, how did you hear? What made you think all this stuff? And then
All
you're going
right.
to have an answer for that.
All right. And it won't be B2K because I've had police officers. I have over 8 years of police reports, but we have to be very careful, I believe, not to mention the V2K. I've had a couple of officers ask me, are you hearing voices? And I'll answer like, yes, I'm hearing yours.
Right,
Like that.
right.
That, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. But
You-
yeah, I advise never to mention the V2K, even though there's well credentialed, valid proof of it, but they want to make us look crazy and lock you up in a crazy bin. And I know a lot of TIs they've done it to. They've tried it with me. I mean, try to get me to mention the V2K. No, I advise do not do it. No.
Yeah, if you could think of some other way, like to mention why you think that about him and have a witness besides, the V2K,
My
I
sound went
pers
down.
huh?
My sound dropped down.
I can hear you.
Okay.
But V2K is lies, is what I'm telling you. I
Right.
personally, V2K is all lies. Now, every now and then they'll tell you the truth about something and something will come to pass, but that's just to bait you into believing more of their lies and keep you in
Yeah.
fear. Uh,
Right. Oh yeah. But
so I
I,
would
I
treat it
have
as
had
lies.
other people say that they can't physically harm you, but there are fellow TIs they have physically harmed. So we do have to be very vigilant. Don't be paranoid, but be vigilant.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, I've lost some fellow TIs. I mean, Dr. Robert Duncan, for instance. I mean, he was a whistleblower,
Yeah.
former CIA, and they got to the last recording that was known of him was they these are professionals. They got into my home and these are professionals. Now I wonder why it took 2 days for them to find his body when he was communicating every day.
Now, did you see? I personally, my theory on that is that he got exhausted from all these TIs asking him questions and
Mm,
all the pressure on coming forth and got kind of scared and faked his own death. That's just my opinion. And
that
the only
could be
reason I
too.
think that is because there was an interview with Roy E. Cuts we were in, and
Uh,
he said he had a dead man switch. Well, why haven't
oh,
that dead man switch been activated?
wow, wow.
You know?
Right.
So I looked him. I called. I tried to figure out everything I could to see. Well, did he really pass away? I couldn't find obituaries, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people want to down him and stuff. But first of
No.
all, if somebody really works for the CIA or all that, you're not going to find the records on them. So people are
No.
calling him fake and that he wasn't real because they can't find no information on him.
Well, they
Well,
won't.
no.
Sealed records.
Exactly. No
I
matter
have
how
sealed
many CIA
records.
files are released, they still keep certain names protected. So I believe
There are
Duncan was the
sealed
real
records.
deal.
Yeah.
And another point to make about Duncan, Duncan's first book, I want anybody who doubts Duncan was the real deal, look up Project Soul Catcher Part
I have
1.
that book. Yes.
You'll
Right.
never find it because they've threatened that if he released it, he would get charged with the Espionage Act, just like Snowden. And then if you look
Mm-hmm.
at Project Soul Catcher 2, he had to put it as science as
Oh.
non as fiction
Oh.
instead of
Really?
nonfiction because
Wow.
that was the only way he could get the information out and
Okay.
safely is put it as a fiction book. So that's proof that, in my
Mm,
opinion, and there's just lots of other stuff that he was the real
right.
deal and knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I
Now,
have the first
did he
project,
spread
so
a little
catcher.
disinformation? Well, we don't know, but a lot of his
Yeah.
information was accurate. I believe he was the real deal.
Oh, I do too. I do too. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy.
How do you handle the smear campaigns? And how do you handle like when you're out in public and you're being harassed or stalked or mobbed? How do you deal
Well,
with that?
I okay, I know a lot of fellow TIs that get that. Now, when I go out in public, I'm always friendly and polite to people and helpful when I can be. But I really that part, people most of the time treat me well. Now I have had when I moved back out here on this 5 acres a year ago, I changed doctors to a closer one, and she was definitely treating me a lot different than my doctor that was in town. And I was very uncomfortable with her. She wanted to put me on psych meds and this and that. And I didn't even mention any of this. And I thought, that's strange. I didn't mention anything about the stalking situation, but she knew some things about it. So there are doctors that are involved, not all of them. I went back to my other doctor in the city. It's a little further, but it's worth it because I got called for jury duty here recently, and she knows about the stalking. I don't mention V2k with her, but she knows. I said, that's just not mentally sane, somebody that stalks you for 8 years. And I bring Rocky and Gizmo, my kitties, in a pet carrier on rollers when I do go to my primary care. And I'll open the carrier and they'll sit there and they'll stay. They behave very well. And so um, I asked her, because of anxiety and I'm taking care of my brother that has cancer, caretaker, if she could help me not have to go to jury duty. Okay, she sent me a letter to give it to them, and I did not even mention Rocky and Gizmo, but she put that in there and said Michelle has 2 therapy animals, and they are certified therapy animals, um, that she has to have with her for emotional support due to anxiety. And she's she said if she comes to jury duty and cannot get out of it, excused from it, she will have to bring her therapy animals with her. And I sent it, emailed it to him, and it wasn't 10 minutes. I got a letter back. You're excused from jury duty.
And that's
That
awesome
letter, I
because
will
that would
have
have
to
been
show it to
stressful
you.
sitting
It's
in jury
great.
duty.
I didn't even ask her to put that on there. It's like, okay. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
would
you
have
have
been some stressful stuff being in jury duty as a target.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to judge on somebody when I know they do lie in there about people. You
Right,
know, I can't do that. I don't want to judge somebody that they're lying about, and they may say, "Oh, this person did this and that." We don't know that for sure because they lie too much, and it's
right.
horrible the deals they make in the court system and send people to prison. There's so many innocent ones in there, and the ones out here that need to be still continuing on because there's a lot of money in this. It's devil's work, and people making money over people's lives. It's disgusting to me.
Yep, it's a
I
whole
won't play.
industry.
I won't play that game. It's and I like to stand up for others because I don't know. I think it's God doing that through me, but some people just don't have it in them to stand up for this cause. You know, victims, and they want to give up. And don't give up. Don't let them do that to you. Your life's worth everything, and you're not alone. Don't ever make them believe that you should commit suicide. Talk to me first, because you're worth so much more than you realize if you want to give up. And a lot of people don't have it in them to stand up for themselves. I like to stand up for people like that because I will voice things out, even though my life's been threatened not to. It's too late for that. And you don't win a battle unless you stand up and fight. And I was fortunate I had good parents, and a lot of people haven't, and it breaks my heart. So my parents gave me the strength to do that, and I still do it. I'm almost 67, but I will continue doing it. I get some really evil threats. It's horrible, but that angers me too, that they do this to other people, and it's wrong. I want to help as many as I can, and a lot of people find it very easy to talk to me. I don't judge. I don't judge people, so I'm open to listen to anything. There was a young man recently, very young. I don't know, probably about 20, maybe younger, that wanted to get on a video chat with me. You know, and he thought it was really cool, and it was. But he did something very inappropriate on there then, and he wanted to get with me. I said, young man, I'm almost 67. You could be my grandson. I don't care. Well, no, I don't cross that line. I want to make that clear because it's happened a couple of times. I know they're lonely, but I'm a grandma. I mean, I don't have any grandkids, but I mean, there are some fellow TIs that call me mom that their moms won't. I'm easy to talk to, but
That's
don't do the
awesome.
inappropriate thing. I
Right.
had to shut him down for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I know
no,
me and
no, no.
Holly are overwhelmed. We get so many calls and messages and stuff, and it gets
Yeah,
overwhelming. But it's on,
I'll
I
help
think
you out
each
on
of
some of
us.
them if you want to
Yeah,
send them my way.
well, it's not our idea, but once it gets put together, we have it's going to be called TI Angels. It's a 24-hour hotline we're trying to put
Oh,
together.
that's great.
So I'll talk to you more about it because we don't want to give the
Okay,
plan. Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Maybe you could volunteer and work some
Sure,
of it. If it,
I will.
it's still in the works. The guy's trying to put it together, but
Oh, I'll help you with it.
yeah, okay.
That would be
Because I
great.
think,
I love
that's the
helping people. It helps me to help people.
yeah, because that's the thing. If anybody who's ever been through this, um,
Right.
especially homeless, when you're walking around, everybody hates you
Yes.
and you're getting looked at with scorn and
Right.
you've done nothing and homeless shelters are turning you down, churches are turning you
Hmm.
down, people
Yeah.
in the stores. I mean, it can feel very lonely, like the whole world's against you. But
Yeah.
there's people out there that will talk to you, try to get you through it, and try to get you out of that defeated attitude. Because some people just watch these videos that, they're real videos and stuff, but it gets them so down they feel like there's no hope, everything's rigged, and they can't have no breaks, and that's just not the truth.
Right. Yeah. There are quite a few TIs that want to just it say that they want to give up and don't give up. There's always
Right,
hope. There are people that are willing to talk to you and help. And if you don't want to talk to me, I'll hook you up with somebody that you want to talk to. But
right,
I'm easy to talk to. You know, these people that are doing this to us do not deserve to breathe air on this earth, as far as I'm concerned, because it's
right.
the most evil program. And there are different programs. I read that about 27% of TIs get V2K. I'm not sure if that figure is correct or not, because I talked to fellow TIs that have the V2K really bad, like I do, and then I talk to some that don't get the V2K, and they will ask me, "Do you think I'm going to get the V2K at some point?" I don't know. I cannot answer that. I wish I could.
Well,
And
my stalking started in 2012, and then in 20, I didn't
mm,
hear V2K. I've been hearing it since 2015.
yeah, I've been
I,
here
s-
months since 2018, over 8 years now. So, and they say
and you,
some really horrible, evil things.
And they can make you, when we say V2K, they can do internal dialogue, comment, and trying to bring your self-esteem down. They can make you think
Oh yeah,
people's in the attic. They can make you think you're talking to angels, demons. They
right.
could, yeah. So it's very
Yeah, I know.
sophisticated.
Yeah, it's okay. It's weird because my two former neighbors that moved down below me in 2018 are my main perpetrators. Now I hear them, the main one, 24/7. They have to sleep sometime, even if they're on meth. So, but they can make voices change to sound like somebody totally different, anyone. Because
Yep.
I have had other TIs that after I've talked to them, they will use my voice to and say bad things. So you have to be careful. That's why I like to get on video chat. Some TIs won't do it, um, but so that you know who you're talking to.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
because
my
okay.
last question was going to be, what would you say to any TIs going through that? But you pretty much answered it. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything you may have
Oh
left out?
gosh. Oh well, there are a lot of things that they when I'm laying in bed, they're meeting with their backroom deal judge all hours of the night, which I'd like to find out if he really is the one. But there are all kinds of people in different professions that are involved in this, and so they will. They keep talking about coming in and arresting me, but I know I already covered that. But um, I'm I'm not paranoid. They want to make us paranoid, but don't believe everything they say. Although they are capable of anything like evil things, though. So we do have to be vigilant anyway and careful. And if you're going to go somewhere and talk to somebody, like I'm going to find out about this judge, have someone with you, have a witness. You know. So It's crazy. Yeah, there's so much different ones, different programs, and they want us to commit suicide. Don't do it.
or
Your
lash out
life
in
is
anger.
worth everything in the world. Theirs is not.
Right.
Anything you want to ask me? Um,
Um, when you're out in public, have you ever like uh made it seem like two people were talking to you and with your V2K and like put ideas like they're talking about you, they're plotting on you, and then you look over and they're looking at you at the same time? Or like, have they ever tried to make you want to harm somebody or anything like that?
no, they've not tried to make me want to harm somebody, but when I go in public now, in the grocery store, when I do go, which is rare, I have my groceries delivered. I don't go out much, but I'm friendly to people and polite and helpful, and most people are friendly back. But then I notice when I do go in the grocery store, there's always somebody blocking the aisle, always, and then there are some that'll just look at me rude, then like, excuse me, and they don't want to move, just have their cart in the middle aisle, and I handle it just in a polite manner. But yeah, they like to block the aisles when I go in there, and there's always somebody, that will come on the aisle and follow me.
Are
It's
they
just,
are do they ever have they ever done any like crazy stuff on your phone like what they use like they'll when you put your head like your ear set they'll like they're right there in the speaker hitting the microphone like the thing right here
mhm.
happening like have they ever done any weird stuff through the phones like that to you like while you're talking on the phone maybe knock right where your ear is or any.
Yeah. Well, they do all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, they've got all my devices hacked, and they don't like me talking to other TIs. They'll cut my phone calls a lot. Um, but I wanted to talk about the directed energy weapons. Um, well, and there are microwave auditory effects, and even mostly when I'm laying in bed, it, I need to change something in here. I'm not sure what because they will vibrate my whole body and send that right through my head and it just vibrates. It's a pulsing vibrate. Do you get that? Do you ever
Oh
have
yeah,
that?
I get it. It's not as bad anymore as it used to be because used to every time I close my eyes. Now I still am programmed that way, but
Mm,
whatever I'm doing with these vitamins and stuff lately is really helping me. But like I would
right.
close my eyes, and every time I close my eyes, my whole body would start vibrating. And matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my bones vibrate, and it's bone deep vibrations, and it's so much pain.
I
I
get
mean,
that. Oh
yeah.
yes. Oh my gosh.
And then I get
Yes, that
along
pulsing.
with that, I get the
Pulsing.
shocks right here in the back of my head, and the
Oh God.
nausea and the vertigo. You
Yeah.
think you
I
think,
get I get the nausea. They hit my stomach a lot. I'll
are you
be
ever do you ever lose balance while you're walking?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and the pressure in
Yeah.
your right side of your head.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll beam that right through my head, just oh gosh, and pulsing. But they like to hit my stomach out of nowhere. I'll just get these attacks. I'll be fine and feeling good, and if I say something about it, they don't want me to feel good, and all of a sudden I'll get these violent puking attacks. I had one about 4 nights ago. Had to keep getting up in the middle of the night and just puking my guts out. And I was cursing them all the way through it. It was
Yeah,
like,
uh, we're lucky and got some Zofran, and we use
yeah.
Zofran a lot. It helps
Oh,
us with
okay.
our nausea
That's
when
a
they make us.
prescription, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had it before. That thanks for that because my doctor prescribes Phenergan. Promethazine
oh, sleepy.
raises my blood pressure
Oh, okay.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
makes
has
me
my blood
drowsy.
do what?
It makes me drowsy, the Phenergan.
Yeah, yeah. But even taking it at night, it's raised my blood pressure like 100, 120, and that's way
Wow.
too high. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I don't need that. So, thanks for mentioning that because I'm gonna ask my doctor to prescribe Zofran,
Yeah, it's
and it
nasty.
should
You
not.
leave it on your tongue to melt and stuff. It's nasty and
Uh,
it's got a nasty aftertaste, but it's worth it. It's not as strong as vinegar. Finnegan really does a better job with it, but like I
Yeah.
said, Finnegan makes me drowsy.
Well, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe because this targeting program, we have to be careful. I wish I had my own lab to test some of this stuff, but um, Finnegan used to help me, but these ones I've been getting lately, they don't seem to help anyway for the vomiting. Seem like I
Right.
pick them right back up.
Wow.
So I need to get back and try the Zofran
Yeah.
because they're violent attacks. Yeah,
Do they dehydrate you a lot? Keep your
they do. I have to keep something by my bedside or all the time. I am constantly thirsty, and no matter how much I drink, I feel thirsty all the time. And I'm not diabetic, so it's not that. It's the weapons, you know. They hit. Yeah, they want to pull it bullet in my head. They with the directed energy weapons. I mean, I
right.
talked to a guy the other night, and a long range acoustic directed energy weapon. Like, well, okay, I'm not gonna be paranoid. That won't do any good anyway.
Right. Do they ever
So
pull up to your house since you don't go out much and do theater stuff, any skits? If so,
when I
could you?
lived in a neighborhood in Tulsa, they did. There were a couple times when I was out on the porch, and would be a convoy of 6 vehicles and bumper to bumper, and would creep by. And I'm maybe too bold. I'm not crazy. I'm not insane, but I'd go out there and say, well, come on out, get out of your vehicle then, you know, but my friends and doctors said, don't do that. They could shoot you. I know they could. And that's not wise to do. It's not. But they did that twice. And then another time, that same convoy of vehicles, there were 2 police cars behind it, bumper to bumper. I thought, okay, that was weird. Yeah, things
Right.
like that. But now that I'm on the back out on the 5 acres, um, they don't. It's all fenced and gated. They did still
Oh,
the
okay.
post keep out signs when I first got here, but we have a bunch of them back out there. But yeah, I would know if they'd come on the property. My brother has a couple dogs that hear everything,
Oh, that's cool.
and they keep. Well, yeah, it is. I'd see them, and we don't allow people out here on the property.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, as TIs, these people are so evil, and we need to keep in touch. You know, we need to keep in touch.
Yep.
That's the thing because they're capable of anything.
I
I want
think
to
I
help
th
as much as I can. I wish I could do more though. I want to do so much more, and I'll do what I can though.
Yeah, I hope David's okay. Like I said, I think they may
I
have uh I think they may have scared him away from trusting anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it seemed like was happening to me, happening with
yeah,
uh when I talked to him, like he was just like, "Oh no, people on Facebook are not right.
yeah.
Trust me on that." And then I was like, "What do you mean?" And then there's no more messages from him.
Well, what happened too? Um, do you know Autumn? Do you know Autumn?
Uh-huh.
Autumn. Okay,
Yeah.
she and I talk on video quite often. Um, she contacted me around the holidays or right after, and because she said she needed to get hold of him, she and John Flynn for her TI lawsuit he was signed on for. And I told her that I haven't heard from him since August. He just dropped out of sight. And so I tried to message him again, and I got a message back, and he said, "Oh, I'm doing nothing. I'm very blessed. I'm doing nothing but fun things." And I don't think that was him. I really don't. And
Uh,
Autumn does not think so either. So
hmm.
I just breaks my heart. He was a
No, I don't.
wonderful young man. Is I hope, and I hope he is doing fine. But oh my gosh, uh, I don't even know what to do about it. I've had other TIs say call the police station in Sacramento, but we're not going to get the truth all the time either. I mean, I wish there was something more I could do. I don't know what to do though.
Right. I'm gonna try to really reach out to him and try to figure out
Yeah,
because I think I've got his phone number as well.
I do too. Well, I've got three different phone numbers, but two disconnected, but the other one, um, it doesn't have a voicemail box set up. But I've called and ring, and nothing, nothing.
Ugh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. He and I used to talk every day. Gosh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was looking for. I
yeah.
can't, man, you
I
got me
really
on.
could use an admin assistant again since he and Joshua Hayes dropped out of sight. I've
Yeah.
got so much work to do on it, and I just can't do it on my own.
Yeah, I'm swamped with my responsibilities here.
Yeah,
I had to drop out of a few groups I was admins on
yeah,
because it just
yeah,
gets too busy.
yeah. I was the admin assistant on both of their groups too, but um, well, those are no longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna try emailing him. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm
Oh,
gonna try
you
I'm
got
gonna
okay.
if I hear something, I'll let you know.
Please do, please do.
Yeah.
It just breaks my heart, disgusts me. These people anger me. What they're doing to people. Yeah.
Right. Maybe they saw his talents and video editing and how good he was at processing information. Man, I hope that's not the case, but I guess we'll see. I don't want to
Well,
say nothing unless till we find out for sure, but man,
you knew
people
about.
do need to be vigilant because like Michelle said, stuff happens to TIs more than just
Oh yeah.
people say this is a no-touch torture, slow kill, but
No,
there's bad things
not
that
true.
happen to TIs too, and I'm not trying to scare y'all. That's
No,
just the
don't
reality
be
of it.
paranoid, but be careful and vigilant.
Right.
Keep in
Vigilant.
touch with each other.
Yep. And if you
Do
notice
that.
somebody's missing, reach out to them.
Uh-huh.
And if you can't get a hold of them, put something on Facebook. Has anybody heard
Right.
from them? Like I do that
Right.
with people all the time. Me and
Yeah,
Holly's done four
I
welfare
do.
checks this year on four different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
We have to strengthen numbers. United we stand, divided we fall.
right,
Right? Yeah.
right. But I think the
I
problem is
I'm
too.
so blessed though to have you and Holly. You know, you do so much wonderful work. Huge
Yeah, we
blessings.
try. It gets
You do.
hectic, especially lately with our responsibility around here
Right.
growing. But we're still keeping on, but it's overwhelming at this point
Yeah.
with so many reaching
I
out.
say
And
that keep on keeping on too. That's
it's
right. That's what
crazy
I
with
tell them.
there's so many people out there now, and it seems like it's
That's
getting
right.
more and more too many to keep up with, you know?
Oh, it is. And you know about the TSDB list, the terrorist screening database, that
Uh-huh.
97% of people on that are not terrorists nor any reason to believe that they are. They make money hand over fist on that. Um, what I read in 2020, and oh gosh, trying to think the figure then, it's millions, millions. We don't know how many millions. And they add about 350 to 500,000 more people, innocent citizens on there a year. And this is from a government site that I saw that, and that it is the largest industry of all, way over education and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a screenshot. It's got you look your name up on this thing and it said and sometimes it'll say you're not on a watch list, and sometimes it says the name David is on a government watch list sourced by I'll send it to you.
Oh, really? Because I sent in a FOIA request, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, and I got a letter in the mail back, and they said that they did not have to divulge any information about me,
Yeah, they got
myself.
seven different excuses they use
Oh,
to
wow.
not divulge the information. No, this
Yeah.
is like a it's like you're looking your name up, and I
Uh,
forgot it's been a couple years ago when I done I think it may be Truth Finder, and you don't
oh,
have
okay.
to pay in the middle of it.
Uh,
You don't have to pay like in the middle of the review, a report review progress. I'll send it to you. It says
Is
matching
that
gov.
like a background check?
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll say,
I've used, and about that, my former neighbors that follow me everywhere, my main perpetrators, the police told me to file a protective order. I know that's not going to protect me necessarily, but for documentation in case something happens. So I paid for three different background checks online and two private detectives I consulted with, but they're hiding their location, even though my perpetrators say that she thinks she's a TI and she's not. We really have her under investigation for not doing anything legal. I'm not doing anything illegal. Yeah, it's non-investive. What do you call it? Non-investigative. What I can't remember. What do they
Subjects,
call it?
non-investigative subjects.
Subject.
And
Okay.
and if you and all TIs ain't on terrorist watch lists. There's many different
Right.
lists.
Yeah.
Um, so don't think if you do this, if you look yourself up and or you can't find yourself on a watch list and you still got all this crazy stuff going on that you're not a
Yeah.
target because
Right.
the way other people explain it, whistleblowers and all that say there's many different lists. You got experimental
Right.
lists, you got people that
Mm,
are targeting people just because they got power and out of revenge.
mm.
But yeah, I'll send you a screenshot of what I
Okay.
how I
Good.
found.
Well, I wanted to ask you another thing. Um. Oh gosh. So there are governments, crooked portions of the government involved in this. But somebody also has said that some of them are not government programs. That I mean, you can buy these directed energy weapons and devices online, actually, no questions asked as long as you have the money. So there are also, I'm gonna label them as street punks, as long as they have the money, can buy this technology.
Yep.
But then the government is involved. Do you think they're involved in all of it?
Well, I've got a interview, and I still have not figured out how I have to do a lot of editing to it because
Uh-huh.
this guy's name is Matthew Roberts. You can look for him on X, and
Okay.
he explains it different.
Hmm.
He explains that in the Obama administration, when they done the Brain Initiative, they handed all this test equipment and all this stuff over, and people are gonna don't think what I'm saying is set in stone, and I'm saying this is the way it is. But he tracked his people down for 5 years, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing because stuff on there like he talks
Oh
about
wow.
just can't be put on YouTube without me getting kicked off. But
Oh
uh,
wow. Interesting though.
they handed it down all this equipment and stuff to NGOs like groups that are
Oh.
supposed to non-government organizations that
Mm.
are supposed to be helping homeless all these people and they're
Oh
running
wow.
these tests
Oh
this
gosh.
test too and that way nothing could ever come back to them and their hands would be washed clean. Now that's his theory, but he done 5 years of extensive research. Matter of fact, he reached out to me the other day, asked me how I was
Oh
doing,
wow.
wanted to check in. He wants to do another interview, and I may end up just having to upload the interview to Rumble and then send people to Rumble because the way
Oh,
he
I'd
breaks
love to
it
see
down and
that.
talks about it, it is very interesting.
I'd love to see that. Definitely.
So
Yeah. Can you send
I think,
can you send that to me?
yeah, I think I think, I kind of think some of that as far as, I really don't like putting stuff out there because,
Right.
I don't want
We
to,
don't know
I think
certain things.
NSA is definitely involved. But I
Oh
think,
yeah.
people behind the scenes, deep state, secret, shadow government,
Yes,
you
definitely.
see, that are part of the
Deep
government,
state
but
and
nobody
DARPA.
knows nothing about. Like even your congressman don't know nothing about it. You see,
Well,
but it's still government, but it's like a top secret.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Shadow government. That's just my
Yeah, and
opinion on the
about that
situation.
NSA, Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Yeah.
Isn't she NSA that Trump hired?
Oh,
Or what?
I'm not sure. I think
She's national
she's something.
security. National security. I saw her on a Dr. Phil interview show it was on there last year. And she's a target. She said that on there. Um, but I was hopeful when she and Trump brought her on. And but then when you think about it, even any politicians that want to do something about it, they're not going to let them. I don't
National
believe.
intelligence, director of national
Okay,
intelligence. Yeah, but
but
you
I
see the
don't
thing with
believe.
politicians is they always get dirt on them and hold it over their heads to expose them if
Exactly.
they don't go along with the system.
Right. That's right. I know. Yeah. They either threaten their status and position and or their lives.
Yep. or they watch them 24/7 till they get dirt on them, and then they're
Oh,
like,
sure.
"You want to be exposed? You better not touch that."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They better do like a puppet on a string. They
Yep.
better do that or else.
And that was one of Epstein's job. Get these politicians to this island. You're videotaping the whole thing. Get them,
Yeah,
get them on record, and then use it against them.
yeah,
Then you got everybody who went to that island who participated. You got them as puppets. They have to do your bidding or get
yeah,
exposed.
yeah.
So we
My
got
clerks are
about
mad at me
five
for
minutes
doing this
left.
interview, David. Right now, they're hitting me, piercing straight through my skull right now. Pain.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left anyway.
Directed energy weapon.
Is there anything
Yeah,
you want to say?
they are hitting me in the head with that right now. Oh,
You want to get off of here?
oh, airplane going by. You know what?
You want to get off here? Because we got about 5 minutes
Oh
left
no, I'm
anyway.
fine. I'm fine. I was
All
just
right.
mentioning it because they threatened to do
Do
that.
you have a migraine ice cap?
I don't have.
Oh, they're like
What'd you
$9. It's King
really?
Pavoloni on
Oh,
Amazon. And when I'm getting
oh,
hit with a head, I take one of them
yeah.
caps out of the freezer and put it over my head.
Oh,
Now you want to buy
great.
like five of them because they don't last but about 10 minutes, 20
Okay,
minutes.
thanks for that. I
Yeah,
definitely need that. Yeah, they like to hit my head, my gut. My whole body's vibrating right now. They're like trying to stop me. Hit her in the
right.
head. Uh-huh.
We're at the end of
It's
the interview
vibrating.
anyway.
My whole body's vibrating.
Man.
I tried to laugh. I try to use humor, positive attitude, and instill in others, and
Have you ever
humor. We
tried
have to
jumping in a
laugh.
cold shower?
Oh, cold? Ooh,
Well,
really?
it's very healthy for you. I do it sometimes when they're hitting me very hard.
Okay.
Uh, it helps
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I
A
know
cold
hot
shower with the
showers
lights
feel
off.
good on the muscles and stuff, but yeah,
It's
it's
very hard to
unbelievable.
stand, but
I'm
I'm
getting
telling you, when
body
you're getting hit
shocks
hard
right
enough,
now.
it'll help.
They actually did get that weapon because my whole body's vibrating in shocks right now. My legs. I try to laugh things up. We have to find humor and laugh. Laughing is good. Laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it
And that's
is.
what I try to instill in others. You know, I'll try to make TIs laugh in between talking to them. We have
And
to. Brings the
another thing
endorphins
you
up.
can do is rearrange we rearrange our furniture like ever so
That's a good
often
idea. I need to
because
move
you
my
sit in the
bed
same
because,
spot, they know where you sit. So, they'll
yeah,
eventually
because
make adjustments, but you just always
see,
throw them
like I
off
was
that way.
telling you, when I'm
Huh?
laying in bed is when they can vibrate my body the most. And I'm right by the window right now by my bed. I need to move my bed to the other side, away from the
Yeah.
window part, right? You
Yeah,
think?
and they'll make adjustments, but
Okay.
we've moved our stuff so many times and
I'm
we
gonna
still
do
do.
that today. Thanks for that.
Another thing you can do is put Mylar all over the windows and stuff
Oh,
because if they're tracking you in your home to find out where you already hit you, Mylar can block infrared detection of you inside your home.
do
Um,
you have to have several layers or
yeah, it don't block EMF. It blocks radio frequencies and infrared detection of you.
how many layers do you use?
I only use three.
Okay.
But you only need one
And
layer
it's
to
inexpensive.
be
It doesn't
like if
cost
they're
very much.
tracking you by your heat signature in your house, that's what I'm talking about. One layer will
Okay.
block it.
Okay. So you put it over the window of the whole wall?
Any room I'm in, the
Okay.
room we sit in, I have Mylar over the windows and over the wall.
In the bedroom would be a good idea.
That way they can't roll up and say, "All right, I know where they're sitting. I'm going to hit them here," And then
Okay.
we may move the couch one place one week, move it someplace the other week.
That's good.
You got to
Yeah,
stay on top of it. But I
I
advise
know.
as soon as we get off this interview,
I'm
that you
rearranging my
start moving
bedroom today.
around. I advise you start moving around
Yeah.
because if you stay in the same spot, that's where people mess
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I'm gonna go outside for a while
Right.
in the nature. Yeah,
Well, I guess
gotta
we're
do
at
it.
the end of the interview anyway. I thank you for coming out and
Yeah.
I thank you for what you
Thank
do
you.
helping others and helping them talk
That's
through
one of my
hard
babies they want to
times.
steal.
Huh?
I appreciate it so much. I
No problem. And I'm going to
much
stop
respect.
recording and we can say our goodbyes.
Okay, much respect to you, Holly.
Thank you.
And
Hey,
prayers for all fellow
only way it's
TIs.
possible is the most high.
That's right. That's right.